Are you looking to do deals and master flipping houses? Welcome to the DoDeals Show with our host, Mr. Tim Mai. As a successful investor and mentor to many real estate investors, Tim's students consistently run 6- and 7-figure investing businesses. Each week, you'll hear from top real estate investors who share the best strategies, systems, and secrets that you can use to be more successful. Tim and his guests will pull back the curtain for you to learn their exact tactics, tricks, and tools that are working best right now in today's real estate market. Now, let's welcome Mr. Tim Mai.
Okay, we are live on Facebook. Hello, Facebook. Today, I have my good friend Spencer Caldwell on the line with us. We're about to interview him. Spencer, apparently you can see he's a super young dude. Has a beautiful family of family with four kids, right? And he started in real estate investing pretty young in his 20s and built that into a $1 million company, and then lost it all during the market crash, bounced right back. Since the last 9 years, he has bought over 13,000 houses at the foreclosure auction in the Arizona area. And so, Spencer, welcome, buddy.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me. What a pleasure to be with you and spend time with you today. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you. So share with everybody, what is your best tip for everyone in buying at the auction, after you have bought so many?
Auctions are a funny business in Arizona. I understand it really, really well. And I've bought properties in other states, and every state's different. So my best tip, depending on what state you're in, of course, if you're in Arizona, I focus on auctions. So reach out to me, and I'm sure you can give them my contact info, or it'll be somewhere.
You're tagged on this Facebook Live, so they know how to contact you.
Yeah, contact me there. And so if you're in Arizona, I can tell you. But if you're in other states, you need to find out who the auction pro is and who's buying at auctions. For instance, in Arizona, there's an auction every day, Monday through Friday. But in Texas, where you're at, there's Super Tuesday auction. There's only one auction a month, and so it's just like drinking from a fire hydrant, a hose of just info. So Arizona, we're really blessed. We live in a great state for auctions in Arizona, being every day, and it's very balanced. So those are some of the tips. Just reach out to who the professional is in the area, and take them to lunch and offer to buy. It don't matter who it is. If you're buying lunch, they're gonna come to lunch with you.
Sounds good. All right, everyone, we're going to continue with the rest of our interview offline here. So when we, make sure you keep an eye out for when we post the entire interview. You get to learn from Spencer and his whole journey of where he got to where he is today. It's absolutely amazing. Share with everyone, a little bit about yourself. How did you get started in this whole real estate investing venture?
I appreciate that. I've been in real estate about 12 years, and my story is a little lengthy. Cut me off if we need to go to the next question, right? Kind of like a politician interview. The next question. So 12 years, I was studying biochemistry in college, and a lot of my friends were off to be doctors or dentists, and I was set on becoming a dentist. And I was going through college and worked full-time through college. Went to college for 5 years, had over 140 credit hours, well enough for a bachelor's degree and more, right? And I took my DAT, the dental aptitude test, to get into dental school. And at that time, I had a cousin come home from dental school with over $300,000 or $400,000 in debt, and I was like, "Wow, that's a lot of money to go in debt." And at the time, like I said, I worked full time. I was paying for college. I was debt free, and with a kid at home with me and my wife. And so it just scared me to go into debt for dental school. So I said, "Hey, look, I'm going to work for a year, and I'm going to make as much money as I can, and I'm going to pay a big chunk of cash down dental school, so I don't come out of school in debt so much and be so overwhelmed. I hate debt. I do everything I can to have no debt and to do things with cash."
So let's speak into that. Like, what is it about your childhood or whatever that have you hate debts like that?
Oh, yeah. Probably I was raised by an entrepreneurial father also. I was actually raised on a pig farm with 80,000 pigs here in Arizona.
Whoa!
Yeah. So my grandpa was a pig farmer, and my dad and all his brothers. And so, I think it's just probably watching a father running his own business And if he was stressed, I knew it was probably because he was in debt and he was strapped for cash. So I think that's a really good question. I've actually haven't had anyone ever ask that, so I appreciate that. And so I was going to go work, for a summer job. And you see these guys selling, going to sell pest control or alarms or satellites. And, I heard about friends making $100,000 in one summer for working 4 months. And so I'm like, I'm going to go do that. But I had an uncle running a really successful real estate company. And he was nice enough to let me join on. And so I joined on with him, and he taught me real estate. At that time, there was a group from California that came over, and it seems like, 04, 05, 06, it seems like they bought a few thousand properties from us. And so I was selling, it seemed like 100 properties a month to investors from California. Probably not at the right time, right before the crash, but it was just a big frenzy. So I sold a lot of houses, and I ended up buying over a dozen rentals for myself too. And so after that first year, I felt like I made so much money as a young guy in real estate 12 years ago. And I didn't look back, and I didn't go to dental school. I just got stuck in real estate. And so I've been doing it ever since.
Wow, that's incredible. Okay, so you sold a bunch of property, owned properties, the market crashed. What happened? What now?
Right. Yeah, no, that was a dark moment. I was still at the company with my uncle, and we sold a lot of houses to investors, and rightfully so. We managed them as a property management company, and that's what they started out as. And so, the market crashed, and I was still at that company, and there was a lot of employees there, and I decided to jump off the ship of my uncle's company, which was a great company, and my uncle's a great guy, still a big mentor and coach of mine to this day. I jumped off, and I said, look, I'm just going to go do real estate with a business partner by myself and not have any employees, no big sales teams, no big companies. I'm just going to go figure out real estate. And we rented. We really started out of the garage, like a garage band of my business partner, and just a one little office. And slowly but surely, I've just built up another large real estate company with we manage over 2,000 doors in 3 states, and looking to go to several more states this year. When you asked what happened at the darkest moment of your life, I was on a bike ride, really twiddling my thumbs, just on the street right out front of my office with a friend, and I didn't know what I was going to do that day for work. Real estate was gone; it disappeared, and everyone was like, "What do we do?" So he said, "Hey, I heard people on this bike ride. I heard people are buying homes at foreclosure sale at the auction." He said, if you don't go down there today and figure that out, I'm going to. And I said, done. I'll go down there today. So I think that day we bought a few properties, and I built this large system, and it's basically an auction bid service that we provide. We provide a lot of data to clients, and anyways, we've bought over 13,000 homes, bought 5 or 6 today even. So it's very, very exciting.
That's amazing. So how did you decide, to take on a partner versus just going on your own? Who is this partner? And how did you decide that?
No, it's a great question. So actually, my business partner is Jacob Ash, great guy. We run over 8 companies. Everything's 50-50, and I've never been in an argument or said a cross word, vice versa. And I lucked out. My business partner is the greatest man alive as far as business goes. And so he left my uncle's company before I left, and he encouraged me to do so also. So he's like, hey, you leave also, and we'll help. We'll try to, let's just do real estate together. And at that time, we had no vision or anything. We just knew that the market crashed or was crashing, and we knew we needed to do something. So that's how that partnership began. But I've been partners. I was at my uncle's company for 2 years now. I've been business partners with him for 10 years, and been really blessed to have him and be a part of that. So that's having partners is tricky, and a lot of people fell in partnerships. But I've really lucked out with him, and it's been a great. He calls me his business wife. So
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's like your soulmate in business, right? So instead of in marriage,
His wife likes him calling me his business wife, but whether we like it or not, we spend more time at work than we do at our house. And so you got to like those that you're around and working with. And I've got a great staff. I'm in a small little cubbyhole of an office, which is mine. I don't have a big office whatsoever in my office, but I've got 20 employees running around here doing what they do best, and I just support and love them, and they do so to me, and that's why success happens.
Gotcha. That's awesome. So what do you do in the business, and what does your partner do in the business?
Great question. I mentioned that we run a lot of different companies together, so we share our partnership 50-50 in things. So, for instance, I'll give you one example for what we're talking about, the auction properties. I run Maricopa County, which is one of the largest counties, and then the next largest county is Pinal County, and he runs Pinal County. And so there's no way I can handle both counties. It's just too much. And so on the auction part of the business, I run Maricopa, he runs Pinal. And any money's made gets thrown into one account, and we get a paycheck.
Okay. Yeah. So you don't really like divide roles so much, but divide territory.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, as far as roles, we never sit down and say, hey, you do this, and that. I'll do this, and that. And naturally, when you have a good partner, you really don't need to sit down and do that. You just naturally cover what roles you're best at, and help him at anything that he has a weakness or I have a weakness. We help each other, and that's what's great about partnerships, right? If you're always thinking about him and how I can help and serve my partner, or any relationships in life, it's funny because if we think about someone we want to meet, most likely if we reach out and say, hey, I want to meet you because I want to get all the info I can out of you, the person's probably not going to meet with you. But if you go to the person and say, hey, what can I do for you? How can I serve you? So I call it business charity. You've got to build that relationship with others of I'm here to help you, and naturally you'll get more info if you're there to help them rather than just going and attacking and saying, give me all the info So
right. So that that circles back to if someone in another state reaching out to an auction expert over there. Right? Yeah. How and yes, he's gonna offer lunch or dinner or whatever, offer a meal. But how should a person approach that person?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I like I mentioned before, everyone loves a free lunch. Offer to take them to lunch, and perhaps if you got some type of specialty, and I've learned that about you. You've got a great coaching ability. So if I need someone that needs coaching in real estate, I can send them to you. So just take your number one thing that you think you're great at and say, hey, I see that you're in auctions. I do this. If I can help you in this area, let me know. And then naturally that person who you're trying to get info will release and help you in that type of area that you're wanting to learn info in.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. So, in I guess let's look at auctions. Why auctions versus buying from the MLS versus direct mail, directly to homeowners?
No, great question. So auctions, it's a double-edged sword. It's a really, really quick game. In fact, we don't know what we're buying until the night before the next day's auction.
Wow.
So not everyone can do that. So that's the sharp end of that sword is it's just too quick. I can't do that. There's naturally our barriers come in and say, that's too fast. I can't make a decision in one day. But there's always a positive. And the positive side, which we should look to normally and more often, is because it's so quick, not everyone can do it, so I can get a great deal. So you should do auctions because you're looking in real estate to get a good deal. Whether you're buying a rental or doing a flip, you want to buy low and sell high, right? And so auctions, you can just get killer deals. I mean, you can buy deals that are 70 cents on the dollar, 80 cents on the dollar.
Even in today's market?
Yeah, you can, for sure. I always tell people, they think a lot of people not in real estate that are getting into real estate, they're getting into real estate because they saw that one person get real rich off of real estate, and they think that person got rich really quick. Well, let me tell you something. Real estate isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It's just not, right? That person got rich because they're smart and they've got a niche and they worked an area. So I always say, hey, if you're going to come buy 10 deals at the auction, you're probably going to lose on one or two. It's just going to happen. There's a learning curve. You may even lose on your first. But, keep going, because out of 10 deals, you're going to hit 1, 2, maybe 3 home runs. And then you're going to make a base hit on the others. And so it's not get rich quick. It's not like, hey, I'm going to go buy a house at the auction today and I'm going to fix it up and sell it and make a lot of money. No, you're probably going to have to do that 10 times to make a good living at it this year. So,
right. Yeah. And I love, buying at the auction or buying from the foreclosure auction. There's no marketing costs. We don't have all the costs that we have the same way we do direct to sellers.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely.
Yeah. So what tips what are some of the things that we should consider or look at, before buying these houses sight unseen, maybe with just like being able to drive by, but that's about it.
Great. Some tips. So in the auction world, you need someone that first will provide you the data, right? You can't just go look anywhere and find a house going to auction. So you need a good data provider. So in Arizona, we feel like we've got great data, and we actually compile a list. In Arizona, there's 12 trustees that hold foreclosure sales. And so there's 3 parties involved. There's me as the buyer, there's the trustee holding the sale, and then there's the bank that's hired the trustee. There's probably 12 major trustees in Arizona that hold these sales. And so, there could be several locations. We're at 3 locations at once for sales today. And so the tip is just finding out who's in the business and who's buying the properties and how are they doing it. And, we provide that as a bid service for our clients, and we try to take as much of the headaches as we can as far as providing the data. I had a client from Idaho buy a property today. She couldn't drive over and see the property, so we drove over and took pictures. Likewise, we're going to send over our rehab crew to go over there and rekey it for us so she has a key. So just finding someone to take some of the headaches out of you for you that's done it, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel is some of the best tip I have.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, do you focus in on, out of those 12, do you focus in on just the big ones and then, try to buy all the properties that they have, or do you go after the property and then, move around?
Yeah, no, great location, great question. So if there's 12 trustees, naturally there would probably be 12 locations that sales can be at once, right? However, most of the sales, 80% of the sales actually happen on the steps. And the steps, by meaning the courthouse steps downtown Phoenix, the Superior Courthouse. And literally right out front of the courthouse, anytime sales are happening, there's dozens of people gathered together, and there's just millions of dollars being transacted right there. This just seems kind of funny, right? So 80% happens there. And so to answer your question, we're chasing the house individually. So if there's a good buy, no matter if it's at the courthouse or if it's at an attorney's office somewhere across the valley somewhere else, we're going to be there for that sale. Yeah.
Okay, good. That's awesome. Good to hear. Yeah, I have a house right now that I'm considering foreclose on. Well, I'm not considering. I need to foreclose on this thing. And I have different options in terms of which trustee to hire. So I've heard a lot of great stuff about auction.com. So I'm looking at contacting them and having them, because I figure they probably get they do a lot of marketing. I'm hoping that they draw a big crowd, so that way I can get the most bang for my bucks.
Yeah, that makes sense. They're a good trustee, and we work with them closely. We bought thousands of properties from auction.com. Excuse me. That being said, I would still do a little research, and there's one guy that there's 4 or 5 of us bid fee service guys in Arizona, and we go to one attorney that we like just because the process is more simple than using an auction.com. It's less corporate. And so I would suggest maybe finding and seeing who you like better, that auction.com process or a small-time attorney wherever that house is, because you might have be less of a headache for using that attorney. But, there's pros and cons. Like you said, auction.com can draw the crowd. So, but I would still just shop around and see who that attorney is in your area.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's good tip. Yeah, there's definitely some good attorneys here for sure. Like one that works closely with the foreclosure data provider here in Houston. We have like one major data provider.
Oh yeah.
And that attorney works closely with them. We have a couple of trustees that are big. They account for the bulk of the auctions,
Yeah.
and then we have auctions.com as well. But yeah, I'll do that. I'll take your advice on that. Just do my homework on different guys and see.
Yeah, see who you'd like working with the best, right?
Right. Okay. So how do you manage your risk tolerance, or like, yeah, how do you best say, well, even though I haven't seen this property, but the most that it might need is X dollar in repairs, or and then also too, like, what kind of research do you do so that way you don't end up with extra liens and taxes and those kind of things?
Right. I'll start with research. And so we have 2 title companies that we check to make sure we're buying a first. If you buy a first mortgage in the state of Arizona, all other seconds or thirds, any other loans fall off. And so we always do our due diligence for our clients to make sure that we're buying a property that's clean. We're going off the titles. I'm not 100% guaranteeing it's clean, but we're saying, hey, title checked it, and they're saying it's clear. And so they can always go back to that title company to use them to get a policy, right? So we make sure that we're buying something clean and clear. That's very important. And we help our clients and advise them and go the right routes there. As far as risk tolerance, your question there, clients, it's very scary. I had a client today trying to buy a property for the first time at the auction. He was actually trying to buy it for himself, for his family to live in. It's in the same neighborhood he currently lives in. And I mean, we've had, over 10 conversations and spent probably a few hours on the phone just working through the process, how it works and this and that. So, he's pretty scared about the process, and it seems pretty weird. You just show up and pay cash to buy a house. Like, really? Right? But then I have other clients that they just know the area. I had another client buy a condo or townhome today, and he didn't even have to look at it. He already knows the complex. He knows, he's bought 5 or 6 others in there, and he knows exactly what an average of what he's going to do to take in there. So every person you work with has a different risk tolerance. And, great question though. I mean, everyone's different.
Right. So as someone who's never bought from the auction before, I've been on the other side as a lender, but not as as a person who buy from the auction. So do you suggest that I go and go see who are the ones bidding a lot of properties, approach them and maybe ask them if they would be my sort of bid service provider and have them bid
I would say go create relationships with who's doing it. Yeah, go down to there and do that. That's a great suggestion. Obviously in Arizona, I want your business, and I can share all my secrets in Arizona. And I want your business, and I could help you there, if you're listening. But in other states, yes, go down to where the auctions are and see who the players are and start asking questions for sure.
That's great. Awesome. Spencer, this has been an awesome interview. You share a lot. So I'm sure the listeners, the people watching this interview want to get in touch with you. Where do you want to send them? How should they best, get in touch with you, whether it's for your bid service or your property management company? Where do you want to send them?
Well, I'm still someone that gives everyone my cell number, and I always will. So call me on my cell phone, 480-283-4425. That's 480-283-4425. Feel free to reach out to me, text me. And my email is just Spencer Caldwell, my name, at gentryaz.com, GENTRYAZ.com. So Spencer Caldwell at Gentry, GENTRYAZ.com. So reach out to me, ask questions, email me, call me, text me. Happy to answer any questions, and I'm here to help. So thank you.
That's awesome. Well, Spencer, it's been a pleasure. I wish you amazing success, in your future, especially 2017 here as you roll out your property management company nationwide. That's an amazing task and accomplishment at the same time.
Thank you, Tim. That's awesome. I know, it's exciting. Thank you so much.
Yeah, awesome. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening, watching this interview. I look forward to talking to you again on the next interview. All right, see you for now.
And that's our show for today. If you have any questions or would like to get further training from Tim Mai, please visit our website at www.dodeals.com/Tim.